Hey YouTube fam, welcome back to Wealth, Health, and Prosperity. I'm Chad, by the way, just in case you're new here. But anyway, I am up in Northern Thailand. I recently relocated up here. Lived in Hua Hin. I broke my lease in La Casita and moved all my stuff up to Northern Thailand. This is Northern Thailand. I done videos up here before. I've been up here before. So I'm building a house down in Hua Hin. So I kind of moved up here until the house is done. Then once it's done, I'll go back down to Hua Hin. But anyway, since I came up here, what we want to talk about today is detoxing. And I'm not talking about detoxing from bad stuff, okay? Like you're thinking like detox from alcohol and drugs. No. What I'm talking about here is when we're dealing with wealth, health, and prosperity, when we're dealing with manifesting, you know, especially if you're a little bit advanced with this stuff, or you know what I'm talking about, is most of the time, all of us are trying to influence our subconscious mind. Okay, because we know that if I influence my subconscious mind with what I want, you know, living my life on my terms, it's going to happen because your subconscious mind is impersonal. Did I say that right? Impersonal? Your subconscious mind just takes it as is. Let's say it that way. Let's try not to use a fancy word that I can't pronounce. But anyway, that's your subconscious mind. It takes it as fact. Period. It doesn't try to find out what's true or false. It doesn't try to find out what's best for you. It just gives you what you give it. And what are you giving your subconscious mind? You're giving your subconscious mind thoughts of negativity all day long. I mean, where are your thoughts? I mean, where do your thoughts go all day long? You know what I mean? If you don't like what's going on in your life, that's why people tell you, well, it's your responsibility. You created it, even though you don't want to come to terms with it. Okay, if I don't like what's going on in my world, I have to come to terms with I created it, because at some point I've been festering on it and thinking about it. So when I come up here, the whole thing about detoxing is really, for me, honestly, is getting away from the TV. And of course, we have our handy dandy phones. Our phones now is pretty much like a TV, but up in my girlfriend's home, her house, I mean, it's like way beyond here. It's walking distance, but they don't have a TV. I mean, they do have a TV, but it's one of those like really old big TVs, like even her parents had. So that sucker is probably at least 20 years old, but it doesn't work anymore. And quite honestly, it's kind of nice not having a TV. It's nice not having that vice. You know what I mean? It's nice not having that addiction where, when you're bored, you want to sit in front of the tube. And, you know, the next thing you know, you're getting in a habit of watching TV for 3-4 hours a day. And some of you it's even more than that, you know, and that's kind of what it kind of fell into me. Like when people move to Thailand, especially if you watch Thailand videos, you know, that's one of the things that people like about Thailand. They explain it wrong, I think, because they'll be like, oh no, Thailand's so better than the United States. Thailand is so better than Europe or the UK. There's no crime here. I don't hear anything negative. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, if you understood Thai and you could watch Thai television and you understood Thai news, I mean, a lot of stuff goes on here. I mean, the same thing goes on here as your country. Let's put it that way, keep it friendly. Okay. But one of the reasons why they're happier is because they don't understand Thai. They can't watch Thai television. They don't understand Thai news, so they just completely stay away from it. And what they find is when they completely stay away from the negativity of television and the entertainment industry, the movies and the TV shows, they're happier. That's why when people move to a different country and the language they don't understand, they tend to be happier because They don't I mean, it's just simple. They don't understand your language. So, and that's why I find is that when I first came to Thailand, like 3 years ago, more than 3 years ago, something like that. No, in the beginning, I didn't watch TV at all because I didn't understand nothing. You know what I mean? And in the beginning, it was a little difficult because you're in a habit of watching TV, or when you're bored, you're in a habit of turning on the TV. And, you know, it takes a little time to kind of get used to. It takes a little time to, like, when you're bored, what other things can I do rather than sit in front of the TV? And, you know, could I go for a walk? Could I read a book? Could I start listening to more of Joseph Murphy, or Thomas Troward? Hang out with people more rather than just sit in front of the TV. And nowadays, you know, TV's always been like this. You know, lots of times it's hard for me to get involved with a TV show because most of the TV shows, just how they treat people in a TV show, even though you want to say, well, it's fake, it's a movie, it's a TV show. But what do you find in most movies and TV shows? There's always a problem. You know what I mean? People either talk to people down and mean. There's always an issue. There's always a health issue. There's always poverty. Some disaster is always happening on each episode. You know what I mean? So when you're watching this, what your subconscious mind is watching it too. You know, you're programming your subconscious mind. And this talk might be a little bit more advanced for some, but you're going to get what I'm saying. Especially if you're watching TV when you're sleepy, you want to take a nap, you're in a sleepy state. Well, you should know. Let me switch my arm here. Got my coffee in this hand, and my arm is getting tired. Maybe I'll just kneel and chat with you guys here for a second. But you should know that when you get into a sleepy state, your conscious mind gets sleepy. So your conscious mind is shutting down, okay? Your conscious mind will go to sleep. But your subconscious mind is awake. And when you're in a sleepy state, your subconscious mind is more in control. It's more influential at that point. And, you know, you're falling asleep to negativity. You're falling asleep to arguments on TV, you know, drama and stuff like that. You think you're sleeping, but your subconscious mind's awake. Your subconscious mind hears it, is being influenced. Even back in the 1950s, if you go way back, you know, the CIA, if you want to believe me or not, you can do your research. But the CIA, the whole point when they came out with the television, it was brainwashing techniques. It was pretty much how to brainwash and condition the general population. And that's pretty much what it did. That's pretty much what it was there for. Just because even if you have kids, or if you watch somebody far away and they're watching TV, I mean, you can see them, because what the TV does, it puts you into a trance-like state, and that's what influences you. That's why when we watch TV, when it goes to commercials, even when I watch TV and I see the commercials, like I'm like flipping dumbfounded by the commercials. Like every single commercial is, you have a disease or cancer, or it's a medication commercial, or sometimes almost every commercial now is a medication commercial. You know, all it's doing is conditioning you to believe that, okay, you know, it's normal to have a disease. It's normal to be unhealthy. And then I gotta take this medication to battle it. You know, and you know, it's comical. Like, even, I mean, especially if you have kids. You can do this if you have kids. If they're watching cartoons, watching TV, or they're just sitting there on the phone doing the same thing. If you just step back far away and you watch them, I mean, I try to do the video here. They're just sitting there like this. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll laugh. I'll see people like that. I'll see adults like that. I mean, that's what I mean. It puts you into a trance-like state. And you think it's not shaping your world, but it is. Okay? It's the same thing. I mean, what are your thoughts? What are you doing? What are you watching all day long? And this is what I mean by detoxing. This is why, like, when I came up here, like, my girlfriend was like, oh, do you want to buy a TV? And I was like, not right now. Because even back in Wuhan, honestly, I was getting in a habit. I didn't watch TV really all day long until around dinner time. So when we sat down to have dinner around 6 p.m.-ish, 6 p.m., 6:30, something like that, if we didn't go out to eat, okay, if we stayed home, every single night, if we stayed home and eat dinner, if it's 6 or 6:30, once we sat down and eat, we're kind of watching a TV show or a movie. In the beginning, it started off just watching one episode. Then, we went and did other things, or maybe I went back to work or something like that. Then, but then it started to gradually get more and more and more. Then I found myself, if we had dinner at 6 p.m., I'm fucking watching TV till bedtime. You know what I mean? I'm watching TV from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And you're probably doing the same thing. Because it creeps up on you. And when I came up here, I didn't have a television, didn't have that vice. And it kind of went away. It was nice. And lots of times when you kind of detox from this stuff, manifesting works quicker for you because you're getting all the junk out of your mind. And I didn't do a video on this yet, but I will. It's my first time in Thailand, around Navigado, around the Navigado techniques. Because when I first came to Thailand, I lived in a resort for 1 year, but when I first came to Thailand, my first 4 or 5 months, I didn't watch TV at all. Because again, I didn't understand Thai, so the TV was off the whole time. It took a couple weeks to get used to it, but after I got used to it, dude, it was like, it put my manifesting skills on steroids, dude. I'm serious, dude, because I'm serious. It's like, it felt like I could manifest way better because I don't have all this negative junk in my head. And I'm not just sitting on there watching TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So for me, it felt like I could manifest way better. And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with this. But that's something you want to kind of work on. Is think about it this way. And, I know if I was talking to my mom right now, I know she would be crying right now. Maybe not physically, but maybe funny crying. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't watch TV? Because when I grew up, you're talking to a movie buff. Okay, you're not talking to someone like, well, Chad, you just don't like movies. Chad, you're not really into it, so it's easy for you. No, I grew up as a movie buff. When I grew up as a family, that's what we did. We at nighttime, after dinner or whatever, we all got together, did family night, watch a movie, watch TV, or on the weekends, we did movie marathons all day. I mean, so I grew up as a movie buff. But what you have to understand is that, this is stats. I'm not making these numbers up, and I forget where the stats come from. It comes from it doesn't come from Harvard, but anyway, we have, listen to this. This is kind of scary information. Okay, we have about 65,000 thoughts a day. Don't tell me how they know this, but again, these are just stats. So we have 65,000 thoughts a day. 95% of these thoughts that we have are redundant. So what I mean by that is 95% of them, we're thinking the same thing over and over and over. 95% of the time. 95% of our thoughts out of 65,000, we're thinking the same thing over and over and over. Okay. 70%, listen to this, 70% of these 65,000 thoughts are negative. So 70%. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. I got interrupted. But anyway, let's recap here. 65,000 thoughts. We have 65,000 thoughts a day. 95% of those thoughts are redundant. We're thinking the same thing over and over and over. And 70% of those thoughts are negative. So we're thinking, out of all the thoughts we have, 70% of the time we're thinking negative, and on top of that, we're thinking the same negative things over and over and over again. And we wonder why shit is happening in our life. We wonder why We wonder why, like, things are occurring in our life that we don't want, we don't like. We think we're not the problem. We think we're not causing it, but we are, because we were letting our mind just go on autopilot. Right when you wake up in the morning, you hate your job, you don't want to go to work. When you go to work, you're talking to your coworkers about your husband or your wife at home, negative, what you don't like about them. Then you're talking about your boss to your coworkers, what you don't like about your boss. Like, you hate your boss, you hate your job, they don't do anything right at work. You should be in charge so you can change everything. Then when you go home, you talk to your significant other about all your coworkers at work. And you live on this vicious cycle. And guess what? When I'm giving a work example, the reason I give a work example, because a work example is so powerful, because at least probably 60 hours out of your week is focused on work. And if your mind goes down the gutter about work, well, majority of your time is thinking negative about work. And this is why why you don't like life. This is why things are coming into your life that you don't want, because you're not controlling your thoughts. Then when you add to TV and media and television and movies and TV shows in on it, you're watching the same drama, accidents happening, drama happening all the time. There's this issue, that issue, this health issue, this disease, that disease, this disaster, this thing. It just goes on, and this is what you're watching. You're watching this stuff clear up until your bedtime, where you're ready to fall asleep, or you fall asleep to the TV. And this is really the cycle of karma. The same thing keeps on happening in your life over and over and over again. And you're on this like giant hamster wheel. You don't know how to get off. But you have to understand, you created it. Now, the bad news is you created it, but the good news is you can change it. You created it, you can change it, because you can create your 3D world. What you see right now, you manifested, and you can change it. You can change it in your 4D. What you think about continually, constantly, has to come to you. That's your power of your subconscious mind. That's the power of your imagination. Just like Neville Goddard said, imagination creates reality. What you think about has to come to you. What you put out has to come to you. You put out good has to come to you. You put out negative, well, negative has to come to you. The laws are reciprocal, okay? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is kind of like free will, if you per se, is, free will in the Bible, having free will, is if I put out good has to come back. But if I'm thinking negative all day long, or a majority of the time, well, guess what? That negative stuff or similar negative things has to come back. It has to. What you put out has to come back to you. But anyway, I know this was a long answer to my detox, detoxing from TV and movies and stuff like that. But it really does help you really focus, as long as you're not just sitting on your phone, because phones now are pretty much the new television. As long as you're not just sitting on your phone for 5 hours a day, paying attention to what you're listening to, what you're watching. Is it enhancing you or holding you back? And I'm not saying you can never ever watch a television show or a movie or whatever, but this is a section where you really have to be careful of, and you have to stay in control of, because it does influence you. I mean, way more than you think it does. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm going through up here, going through a little bit of detox from the TV. And, I like it. It takes, like I said in the beginning, it takes a little bit of time to get used to it. But, you either get back involved with your hobbies, what you like to do, or you're more in tune to present moment. You're more in tune to people around you. You're more in tune to, even if you're just hanging out with people and talking, you're more in tune to that. So you're more living in present moment. Then you're thinking, well, I can, if I'm not watching TV 100%, I'm going to read more, listen to more, prosperity, listen to more things I should be listening to and should be doing, that enhances my life and not holds me back. But anyway, my friends, just want to share that with you. I know I kind of got off on a little tangent. I mean, I love talking about this stuff, so that's why sometimes my videos get off on a little tangent here and there, or most of the time anyway. But anyway, if you have any questions, comment below. I'll help you out. Check out the description and the pinned comment. I got everything in there for you, how to get in contact me, work with me, book links and stuff like that. But anyway, peace out, blessings to you, and I'll see you in the next video.